This DJ's so funky, man.
On 3, 2, 1. Activate.
This is the RDDC podcast. Welcome to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex, coming to you straight from the heart, where the talk is real and the vibe is live. I hope you're feeling tremendously, stupendously awesome, if that's even a word, because here, serving a slice of everyday life is what RDDC is all about, has been all about, and will be all about until forever. Any questions, show requests, or feedback, as always, you can reach us at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com, realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com, and for any customer support inquiries, as you have been doing, and we're so greatly appreciating for them, you can reach us at customer support at realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com. That's YANDEX.com. Please send an email, leave a comment on the blog spot. We also have a .com for a lot of things coming. We have book links for visualization. We have the RDDC guide coming, and you can find food for thoughts, motivational tips. You can apparel store that's on there on the right hand side of our site with the Skinner store. We also have trips, giveaways, prizes, and contests, and more you can always participate in. And we will be having a lucky person or a gifted, blessed person that will be called for a winning number. So stay tuned for that. I just want to thank you for helping ignite and spark and keep the hearts elevated as we are on this journey, because that's what we're all about. Serving a slice of everyday life, thoughts, whatever it might be. So anything else, for any further ado, any questions that are going on, we will be addressing them. And we just want to thank you for being a part of this journey. So here comes the kicker, right? You want to know what the segment part is going to be about, and maybe we should get one of those chill factors going on that, oh my goodness, it's going to be about, guess what? Our journeys. And it's a different kind of flavor. So it's going to be about our journey and the payout of those things. So whenever you hear some of those things going on, just remember that it's all about the situations that come up in life and the questions that need to be had. So without further ado, let's get this thing rolling. All right. Well, one of our questions from one of our gorgeous hearted RDDC familyians is going to come from Carol. Now, Carol is, I believe she's in Pittsburgh, and she is has been emailing us about so many things, and we've been helping her get on a different life cycle in her journey too. So maybe comments and so forth like that, or questions, can be asked later for some of the questions that are coming on, or you can email us up at support. Carol had a question, and basically what it comes down to from reading such things is the people in her life seem to think their journey is more difficult than her journey. And in her understanding and our own understandings, that's not the case at all. Well, Carol, and to everyone else that wants to hear, people are always going to say that their journey is the only obstacle that they have to foresee. That's a part of all of us. That's in all of us. Our journeys is our story. But we're going to say our journey part 1, because this is probably going to be hit on quite a bit of times, because it's always about the journey and the path of enlightenment, expansion, love, healing, understanding, growth. And we get this all from each other. It's not just this broadcast show. It's about every single one of us collectively coming together to be able to give that. I'm glad we can answer some questions or give some feedback on how we feel. And if anyone listening out there from the RDDC family wants to give their feedback, feel free to leave a comment on here on any of the platforms. We're Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, soon to be Pandora, iTunes, SoundCloud. Find us. We'll be there. So let's dive right in. I've had this come to me quite a bit of times from someone very close to my heart. And it's always a little bit, they might be listening to this. They might not. I'm just laughing with it. I mean, Michael, Anthony, whoever, they can laugh at me too. But people we have a problem with stating someone else's issues because we're blindsiding anything apart from our own. Someone could say, well, I've been through that before. Well, yeah, but we're going through it right now. That was different from what I'm dealing with now. Or in your case, Carol, well, my life is more difficult. Your life is like this and that, but it's our journey. It's your journey, right? So no one can tell you how difficult your path has been. No one can tell you how easy your journey has been or the obstacles you didn't have to go through to get to certain areas because no one really knows your story. The biggest battle we're always going to have is from the inner. It's always going to be from the inner us, the inner side of us. The outer does not always necessarily reflect certain things. If you tell someone you were abused, for example, someone could say, well, where are her scars? Where's this? Where's that? They could be looking for certain things that trigger off in their mind. If you tell someone, I've been through a weight loss journey, they could be looking at, okay, well, you're still a size whatever. Well, shouldn't you be 10 sizes down? It's their mind perception. And for you, 5-10 pounds could be awesome. For you, you don't need scars on the outside because you still have wounds that are healing from the inside. It's a whole matter of perspective on what someone wants to say, what our journey is. Because it took you, like I was saying in my last segment, to get to where you are right now to ask that question. To get to where you are in life to be able to still be looking up at the sky. You had a journey and a process. Now, it doesn't mean that, the Creator blessed their souls, that any soul that passed before their time or anything happened, or at the present time or at that given time, was any weaker or any stronger. It just means we don't know why the course of life was there for the person dealing with what they had to deal with and the loss of that person or the furtherment of that person. I recently just lost a person very close to me, and it's like my sister. That is my sister. So age difference or not, life altering or not, this is to Phyllis, Phyllis Hillard. I love you. God rest your soul. May you be with the angels because you are as sweet as candy. And, we love you. So let me just put that out there respectfully. That just happened not even 72 hours ago. So I'm still dealing with a lot of setbacks from that because it's always going to pull on the heart and the spirit. But, that's her journey, her story on how she got to where she was and what happened in her life and the end of her life cycle. So when we are faced with people who say, oh, well, I had to go through this and I lost my car and I lost my house and I had to live on the streets, and that's no way saying that your journey's any less important than theirs, Carol. It's not saying that you have to go through the same exact things that they did or the circumstances came up in their life for you to be relevant, for you to actually have your story to say. Okay, what's your story? Hashtag, what's your story? Is exactly that. So your journey is your journey. Don't let anyone else's conflicts be numb to you, where they're telling you they're going through something and yet you won't acknowledge it because you see yours as more significant as theirs. But don't do vice versa, where your story is not as important as what's going on with them. If you feel like you need to be relevant in that situation to where they may be pulling on you or hanging on you, you can say, hey, look, I need love, or I need time, or I need that same giving back in a different manner. It's not all about you. I can be there for you and help you work through this. But it does not mean that the journey I'm going through or the obstacles I have to face or the triumphs that we go through is any less important than what your journey is, because you feel that what you have is more relevant. It's relevant because they're going through it. It's relevant to you because you're living through it. You're seeing it through your perspective. Just because a person has filet mignon on their table and someone has a loaf of bread with butter doesn't mean that your journey is any less. It doesn't matter if you have a multi-trillion-dollar home or they're sitting there living out of a wooden box. Most people don't know what a line of poverty is until you give them the difference between that. Good and evil. If you only knew evil, you wouldn't know good. You wouldn't know there's no difference to compare it to. If you only knew good, you could not see any evil because you've only had goodness. So you need that contrast. If everybody in the world was a multimillionaire and we all sat up on the same surface and level, I'm not saying that nobody deserves this or needs to be out of poverty or needs to be any less greater than what they are where they stand. But if you didn't have that difference to know, well, we're all millionaires. There's no difference. Where are you climbing to? You're all at the same level. There's goals and reaches that we do. I'm not saying everything is fair, cookie cutter, because that's not life. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's the truth. That's the truth about it. I mean, we can laugh at Forrest Gump. We can say whatever. But at the same time, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You might bite into some coconut. You might bite into some bitter. You might bite into some strawberry or some really sticky caramel. You don't know. And that's the beauty of it. So when I start feeling like things are getting me down, I'm like, look, Lex, you don't know what's going to happen. Next week, next year, things could happen. You don't know. And that's what gets me excited. Like when you start throwing things out there into your atmosphere, into your course of the universe, when you start putting out your little signals and beacons and your desires and your passions and your prayers and your heart, you don't know what's going to come and unfold. You might go through a terrible whirlwind of stuff before it happens, and you might lose complete faith and have almost every doubt. Or you might keep on and just say, you never know what's going to happen, what's going to come, what's going on. And all of a sudden, boom, it's right there in front of your face. All we can do is live out our journey on the paths that we were given. That's all you can do. So, Carol, to anyone out there, whether it be a million people or one person that is giving their heart and their ear to listen to these segments of the family, because you are a part of the RDDC family, no matter if you hear it one time or if you hear it over and over. It has to do with self growth inside of yourself. It has to do with aligning yourself with the perfect element. I had to sit down Saturday morning and get back to that clarity, get back to those prayers and that meditation, get back to that love and sink in with it. It's different. You can talk about it, but I need to be about it more and more and more. So I try to discipline myself into that. It's not about just my journey. It's about all of our journey, and it comes together in some way in this road of life, in the web of life. But in no way, shape, or form does it mean that your journey and our journey is not where it should be, because it is your. Remove the Y and you got O-U-R, our. Your journey, our journey. Okay, so it's still the same thing, no matter if you look at it or not. He, she. You put the S, you have the she. You take off the S, you have the he, right? His story, H-I-S, story, right? Oh, you know what I mean. So I'm just saying, you take off the his is story. So you can say, oh, well, I thought about her story, but people understand his story, history, as we know it, the present, right? Life is a gift. And all we can do is give it to its fullest value, its fullest love and notions of giving it to all those who want to be a part of it. But don't define your journey by what someone else thinks your journey is not compared to theirs. Our journey, the journey, is always supposed to be about where we're landing in certain elements in life and where we're rising from and falling to. But it's always about getting up and moving forward. So yeah, Kara, don't take that to heart. Just, if they had to vent, let them vent, but don't let it pull you down in the process of venting. Like my mother says, I'm not your garbage collector. I'm here to sift through it with you, put on my gloves and get in with the hard times and help you clear through so we can bag it up and put it on the side or throw it in the trash can. But I am no way going to be picking up your garbage and reaping and feeling the filth that comes along with it, because that's what you want to do. Misery loves company, but you don't have to be that company. Hashtag that. So I'm just saying, for anybody that's been out there, misery loves company, but you don't have to be that company. You could choose not to be. And even if they're trying to force you into that situation, you always know there's always an option. That's step away, step out, whatever you have to do. Make sure you understand that your journey is a part of your process. And that person coming into your life might be a part of your story as well for the our journey part. But know when to see yourself as a part of the journey or a part of the story. A part of the journey, you're going to go through that path with that person and move to different horizons. A part of the story means you were there for the reasons and the seasons of why you were brought forth. So, without less or any further, just remember that when someone needs your time and your love, you can give them as much as you only have to give. But don't ever take away from what you have and what's going on, or doubt or question yourself because of what they're going through. It's horrible when we hear our loved ones going through the most heinous things or the most hatred acts or certain things going on in their life. You just wish you could change at the snap of a finger, like a twinkling of a wand. But that's not for us to do all the way. If we're served that purpose, then it'll be done. If it's not for us to serve that purpose, then it'll clear itself up. I mean, it has a way. Nature has a way. Life has a way. The creator of all things has made this way the way it's supposed to be. So the whole thing is never downplay who you are or what you've been through, where you're coming from, where you've been, because someone else can't clearly see the journey you've been through, or they're trying not to recognize what you've been through because they want to wallow or they want to expand what they feel is more relevant to them. It's always going to be relevant to them because it's their life. It's always going to be relevant to you because it's your personal experience, their personal experience. But you can put those journeys together and make an our journey, not just a your and his or her journey, but an our journey. So the journey. What is the journey, right? The journey is being able to expand into tremendous levels of love and thoughts and so much caring forms that all you can do is touch the lives of others in the brightest way possible. Not overexerting yourself, but letting what naturally comes from you, through you, and to you to give to that person's experience to enhance their journey. So it's our journey instead of just their story. I want to thank you for tuning in, as always. And, we're still referencing a couple people for the show. And it's going good sometimes. Inconsistency is a different thing. I'm a little slacking off. But, at the same time, I'm always doing 20 things why I'm slacking off. So I'm not slacking really off. It just, Anthony's laughing at me. It's not the point of me doing that. It's just I'm trying to build everything around our family so we can take this thing to where it definitely is going to be. So Carol, thank you for your question. We hope that you are living the life of your dreams, literally your dreams, and they're coming to fruition more and more into the manifestation that you put your heart and your love and your prayers and dedication into. Anyone out there who has anything that you want to say from the heart, we're always here to hear it out. And trust me, there might be times on here where I'm asking for your tips even 10 times more because of what's coming on. Hopefully we get our YouTube channel going on just as further and just as awesome as we all are. So if you want to reach us again, realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com, realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. And we can also be reached at realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com. That's yandex.com. Never stop your shine because that's what you're meant to do. Never hold yourself back because all you have is endless possibilities, limitless, right? So what do we say now? And what have we been saying in our hearts forever long? Be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the Spirit. Be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the Spirit. That is the recipe I know for every success that will come about. So, I love you all. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we have more coming up, and we're going to have one where we're going to be able to give this wonderful giveaway to someone very special on the RDDC family. So if you want to join in on that and just get free stuff for being a part of the family, don't hesitate. Okay. So we'll talk to you with all our hearts and all our love, and we'll be back with you soon.